Hi there, I'm Fabrizio Lungo, and this is the second video on the HTC Flyer. This is the hardware review. Now, for the hardware review, I'm just going to take the HTC Flyer, chuck the box to the side, and we're going to just look at the HTC Flyer as I peel off this protective layer. How does this come off? Appears it's joined. Does that slide out? Yes, slides out this protective cover. And that just looks amazing. It's just so glossy. Oh, just superb. Okay, so now if we take a look at the device on the front, you probably won't be able to see it with it off. But if you look down the bottom here, you've got your 3 capacitive touch buttons, plus another one here, which is for the pen, which isn't capacitive. That will only be recognised by the digitizer. Then you've got the same here when you rotate it. You have the 3 capacitive buttons and then the pen digitizer button. Now, the point of having the 2 sets of buttons is when you're using it in portrait mode, you can use those controls there. Then when you're using it in landscape mode, you can use those controls there. Now, I've heard one interesting point, which is actually when you're using it in landscape mode, for example, you're more likely to actually want to use those controls there. However, I suppose it's designed for if you're holding it like that and inputting with a separate finger that you want to be able to use those. So, I mean, it does work. It's just, you know, some people might have preferred to be able to use it over there. They couldn't have had both options though, because the icons are actually rotated different. It's not just some light up when it's one way and some light up when it's the other way. They've rotated to the orientation of the device at that point. Now, if we just finish looking at the front, we've got the 7-inch capacitive screen, which also accepts the pen input. That is a 1024 by 600 screen, and at the top you've got a 2 megapixel camera and a light sensor there, I think, and that's pretty much it for the front. If we take a quick look at the back, we have got the camera there, which I believe is a 5 megapixel camera capable of shooting 720p video at 30 frames per second. We've got the dual speakers here for stereo playback, and we've got this little lip at the bottom, and then if we just take it round to the bottom, we have our MHL connection. Now, this is a connection which probably will be becoming more popular on mobile devices, especially tablets, because it allows for the you to be able to output HDMI over that port there. That connection there supports HDMI output, which means you can plug it into your HD television, which is a really nice feature. If we rotate around to this side here, microphone down there, I assume, I mean, it could be something else, but looking at the size, it looks like it's got a small grill in there. That looks like the microphone. Up here we've got the volume rocker, plus minus, turn the volume up and down, and what looks like another microphone, so it's a stereo microphone, which is pretty nice. One interesting thing is different positions. Don't know if that's designed for noise cancelling at all. However, since it's not a phone, I'm not sure if that's one of the features that is provided. At the top, we have our power button, and next to that we have our standard 3.5mm jack just there, which is always nice, you know, plug in any headphones you like, but I will probably be using the HTC headphones. I know I've used the previous ones for other phones, and they've been pretty decent quality. Okay, so I just want to go over some of the internal specs of this device here. The main thing about this one is that it's got the 1.5 GHz CPU rather than any of the dual-core processors that are currently available. You'll notice a lot of other tablets are made with dual-core processors. However, on this one here, they've gone for the 1.5 GHz instead of the dual-core, which, you know, will obviously set back a bit on performance, but obviously they think that, you know, for the purposes that people are buying this tablet for, maybe the 1.5 GHz is more than enough for that. It is definitely the highest speed tablet of this type out there at the moment. Obviously it runs Android 2.3.3 and it's got the HTC Sense version 2.1 for tablet. It has 32 gigs of internal memory, but this is the 3G version I'm talking about. The Wi-Fi version will have 16 gigs of internal storage. It's got 1 gig of RAM, which is a huge amount of RAM for a tablet. I mean, a lot of the other tablets don't have quite that amount of RAM. So obviously that should help with multitasking and things like that. It has features you expect by standards, internal GPS, obviously, so you can get your location. The 3G version has HSDPA and WCDMA, and I think it's quad band. I'm not 100% sure. It's also got obviously GPRS and Edge. It uses Bluetooth 3.0 and supports stereo audio over Bluetooth. So this has got quite high specs in terms of wireless communication, especially since the Wi-Fi it's got in it is BG and N band Wi-Fi. So it's got the top Wi-Fi, the top Bluetooth connectivity, and that's pretty much it. Okay, so the next thing we're really going to want to look at is the pen. Okay, normally I wouldn't cover accessories in this, but I think this is one of the more important accessories. So just peel off the protective cover there, chuck that to the side. Get the quadruple A battery that was provided, unscrew the back. But just insert the battery and then slowly try and screw on the back. Don't want to break the thread. I know these sorts of things are a pain once the thread goes. Right, so that's in there. Now, if we look at the pen, it's got the tip, which obviously is what interacts with the thing. You'll notice it has got sort of a click on it. I think since this here has got its own power, it's actually pressure sensitive in the head rather than on the touch screen. When you're on the touch screen, it will detect the pressure based on how much this nib is pushed in and out. The next thing we've got is these two buttons. Now, I'm not sure which way around they are. I think one is highlight and or select, and the other one is the erase button. Now I'm going to assume the filled in one is the highlight and the empty one is the erase, since there's some logic to that, in my opinion. And that's pretty much it. So we've got the Flyer there and this pen. Okay, now one last thing I want to cover in this is just basically looking at underneath the cover on here. Now you need to push down in the centre, and it appears if you push right in the centre it does unclip, and then just got to slide it off. Apparently, there we go. Not too difficult. I mean, I've seen some real struggles on YouTube. I think if you follow the instructions which say to push down right in the centre, it actually works quite well. And you can see here we've got the SIM card slot and the micro SD, which I'm just going to load up now. Okay, so I've got my SIM card here, and I'm just going to slide that into position, like so, and that seems to have gone in. I'm not going to install a micro SD card just now, since it's got 32 gigs of internal storage. That should be more than enough to get me started. So that concludes this video here. I hope you've enjoyed this hardware tour, and it's covered pretty much everything you would want it to. Leave me comments below, like it, and subscribe. Many thanks. I'll see you when I do my initial startup video. Thanks for watching.